Hello friends, welcome to this video where we will learn 15 interesting facts about Ben 10, The Race Against Time. The film premiered on Cartoon Network in 2007, 2 years after the first episode of Ben 10. It was directed by Alex Winter, an actor who some may recognize from the Billy and Ted films. At the beginning we see this guy with a Darth Vader complex, who seems like his power only lies in breaking windows. Well, it's the only thing that makes it clear because the destruction had to be done and it was cheaper to just break the glass. Let's remember that the film was for television and was supposed to have a good investment. Even the villain's henchmen seem to have been taken from Power Rangers. At least Ben appears very convincing from the first minutes, which is brilliant. With regard to CGI, well, this is another subject that we will talk about later. The film was a huge success among Latinos, and they respected the dubbing by preserving the animated series voices for the main characters, which undoubtedly helps us create the fantasy that the actors are embodying these characters. Ben was played by Graham Phillips. He is currently 30 years old. He participated in series such as The Good Wife and Riverdale. He appeared in the film Blockers, starring John Cena, and also played Prince Eric in the Little Mermaid musical created for ABC. On the other hand, Gwen's actress is Haley Ram, who is currently 31 years old and has participated in several medical or police series such as Grey's Anatomy, Lie to Me, NCIS Los Angeles, The Mentalist, and even the Rockstar LA Games. Some may also remember her as Carly's former best friend on the show iCarly. Additionally, she played young Jean Grey in X-Men 3: The Final Battle. As for his grandfather, Max was played by Lee Majors, known for the series The $6 Million Man. If you remember in the original series, Gwen learned how to do magic, and here, well, she never uses it. According to Pop's trivia that was made on Cartoon Network, where they showed some data on screen, Gwen, here, temporarily gave up his magic to try and live a normal life. Which of course acts as an excuse for not having to animate his powers as well, even though the magic remained in his camera, where Photoshop is automatic. And when she accidentally takes the photo, Ben's backpack can't be seen in the photo in question, when he clearly was using it. In the film we do not see or mention Vilgax, although they may have included a small reference. It's about this scene where the grandfather arrives with none other than an octopus. What do you have there? It's an octopus. It's good for your teeth. Wanting revenge on his companions, Ben transforms into 4 arms, but as there is no budget, the Omnitrix decides that it would be better to be gray matter. This thing about the clock catching them seeing someone they don't want to see is something that happened frequently in the anime, and here it becomes even more understandable when we taking into account budgetary limitations. According to TV Guide, the film had a budget of approximately $5 million. Then the director said that instead of including 10 aliens that looked bad, it was decided to limit it to a few so that the few that did appeared to have the best possible effects. Of course, the quality of the effects varies depending on the scene. Sometimes it looks decent if we're not too picky. Other times it looks like Ben is going to transform into the mask, and the one who looks the worst is undoubtedly the Beast. At one point, Ben wears his classic t-shirt and they even joke about it. "You wore that shirt all summer, didn't you wash it?" This joke was also done in the original series, but in a different way, showing that Ben actually has many identical shirts. Likewise, in the film CGI released in 2012, they made a joke with her again, but then it said that that was Ben's only t-shirt. "Hey, that's my favorite shirt." "That's your only shirt." After Eon trapped him, Ben reunites with his grandfather, when the villain reappears with his henchmen, and this time his powers have increased. It no longer just breaks windows, it came with a bigger budget, and now it can blow up the trailer. Interestingly, that same year in the animated series, something similar happened in the episode The Visitor, where a robot blew up the iconic vehicle. Although it wasn't a problem because they fixed it easily with the help of Kai Green, while in this live action, well, may the trailer rest in peace. When the villain arrests them all, Gwen for some reason doesn't use his powers to free himself, even though in this case it's an emergency. Well, there is an explanation. Pop trivia revealed the strange energy fluctuations caused by the hands of Armageddon. They made Gwen unable to use his magic. The film shares some similarities with the Homecoming episode that had not yet been released when the film was released. Then Ben returns to class and overhears his classmates talking about some of the aliens, to which he tries to join the conversation, but his companions ignore him, just like in this live action. Actually, I also heard that it was fire. Is it cool or not? Furthermore, in both cases, Ben is attacked in the gym and turns into a diamond. Gwen also studies at the same school as Ben, as it is revealed in that episode. And at the end, Cash and JT discover the connection between Ben and the aliens, while in this film, although they do not discover it as such, they assume that Ben knows one of them, which makes Cash and JT show him more respect. This film was the first time we saw Eon, as he hadn't even appeared in the animated series. This character would appear years later in an episode of Ben 10's Alien Supremacy, where it would also be revealed to us that what happened in this film is part of an alternative timeline. Similar to the Ben 10 episode where she got the Omnitrix or the Homecoming episode mentioned above, this is just part of the what if. The stage manager we see at the talent show is played by Mitch Watson, the film's screenwriter, who previously worked as a screenwriter in these other series. And speaking of appearances, the director also made his own, or something similar. According to the credits, he voiced the elderly plumber. In the last seconds, they show us a ship approaching quickly. According to Pop, it could be Vilgax, who would possibly have appeared in the direct sequel to this film. Of course, this sequel never happened as such. However, the director would make a live-action sequel based on the Alien Force series, but that is another story. The film received critical reviews, mostly negative, starting with the disappointing appearance of Ben's parents. And at that moment still they had not been seen in their animated versions, this being their first appearance. It was strange that they were presented in such a relaxed way that it seemed like they had escaped from a hippie community, making it unnecessary to their participation. We already talked about computer graphics, but that wasn't the worst thing. The choreography of the fights was terrible, including the clothes and accessories. Just look at the plumber's guns, how fake they are. This added up to a bad script, dull acting, and cheesy dialogue. They made the film look cheaper than it was, making it seem like the millions invested disappeared like the rest of the aliens. But they still have their notable things, like the fact that they took the risk of giving us a new villain who ended up staying in the following series. Furthermore, it is appreciated that in terms of appearance, they will try to be faithful to the original material. So despite everything, it's one of those rare films that were part of our childhood, that we grew up at that time, and that we remember those moments when we wished we had the Omnitrix and said, "Time to be a hero." If you liked the video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with your friends. Well, that's all for today. See you later.